Hey, so welcome back. Okay, so we're looking at Hart and Fuller's debate, part 3. Hart and Fuller. Right? So Fuller's theory would have solved the problem of the wicked legal system by preventing it from coming into existence. I mean, natural law tries to encourage the public to produce good moral legislation. If the law produced by the Nazi regime was designed for the good of the people, there would not be a wicked legal system. Morals intertwine law in such a way that law are not designed to hurt people. When you have garbage going into the system, you're bound to have garbage coming out of the system. When the judges follow the system under the legal positivism, there might not be any justice. On the other hand, if a judge follows natural laws, come across a situation which requires creative thinking, you're bound to have some justice in the system, right? The main problem with Fuller's argument of immoral laws as not being binding is that the citizen of the statute would have a reason to escape punishment. If they do not like someone, they could easily set it up so that this person whom they dislike would be sentenced. By looking at Hart's theory, there is, on the opposite side of the spectrum, when compared to Fuller's theory, okay, the chance of both theory reconciling is very slim. If there are any chances for reconciling, it would be in the history. Hart does recognize that previous law does derive from natural law, but there are no relationship between law and moral. Yet he also mentioned that law as it is does not have to satisfy a minimum moral in order to be law. It could be some moral tenet. Hart's main concern is that the core of the settled meaning and following the law as it is. Fuller does not agree with any of the tenet of the legal positivism. Thus, this makes it hard for Fuller and Hart to reconcile. So, I mean, in an evil legal system, judges have little in their hands in terms of resources at their disposal. In the Hart's world, it would be a world that is disastrous, similar to that of the Nazi Germany regime. There was very little a judge could do. Whether good law or bad laws, judges are required to do to follow the law as it is written. Fuller's world is a bit brighter. All right, there are evil legal systems that would have transformed into an inherent moral. Okay, so I mean the judge under Fuller's world would interpret the law as it is ought to be. Okay, the purpose of law and what it aims to accomplish would be vital to the judge's final decision. So after an extensive analysis of the debate, or after hearing me talking all that, okay, Hart made some strong arguments in the areas of command theory of law as a social rule, the interpretation of the separation of law and moral, and clear legal concept. However, I feel that Fuller's view of moral and law are more compelling. Fuller point out the weakness in Hart's paper, such as the vehicle in the car and its penumbra, the case of the Nazi German, and the fidelity of the law in law as it ought to be. Fuller's argument is also not without weakness. I mean, its weakness lies in the law as being not valid if they are immoral. But with the right type of judges, okay, they will have the authority to make and to give ruling on moral case laws, making the world a better place for me and for you. All right. So that's the end of my view of Hart and Fuller. If you have any comments or any suggestions, or do you want to talk about anything, hey, send me an email or whatever, and we'll talk more about that. Until then, stay classy, planet Earth.